if they are having issues, let's quickly bring our own regular Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, who I can see she's ready and eager to fire the first shot. Indeed, as soon as we have Dr. Modena, Loretta, and Craig Nixon back online, we will be hearing from them. But for now, so that we don't create a vacuum, let's hear from Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. Please
Good
go ahead.
afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. This morning I did a presentation on fentanyl on Twitter Spaces. You can listen to it on my space on my page, and I also did one on Facebook Live. I try to make it a little bit, welcome. Knowing that we're very resourceful people in Nigeria, we can do it. We did it for COVID, we can do it for fentanyl. We were prepared for COVID. We did the social distancing, we wore masks, we washed our hands. Many of us were not vaccinated. Many diplomats left our country saying that it might be worse here, but we made it, and we can make it here too. Our schools, our workplaces, our communities must be protected from fentanyl. The last time I practiced pharmacy in America was 2011. And in 2011, fentanyl was a drug that I really discriminated against. I didn't like dispensing it. If somebody were to bring in a prescription for fentanyl, I would lie, literally lie that I don't have it, because I looked at them from top to toe and I discriminated because I felt that they're going to abuse it or steal it or something. Young people will bring prescriptions for it. They'll say it's for their grandmother, but then when the grandmother gets it, she only gets half of the pills. They've sold the others on the street. Fentanyl comes in different ways, okay? And the route of administration of some of these drugs in Nigeria, a lot of us know that when you take something by mouth, it's oral. We call it orally. When you take something by injection into your vein, we put that injection into your left or right hand where the vein is, and then we draw a line, which we call an IV line, intravenous line. In Nigeria, you call it drips. Now, another route of administration is intramuscular. Some injections go faster. Okay, some drugs go faster in the body through the IM route. That's intramuscular, means somewhere where there's meat on your body. And we usually use the buttocks. So your bum bum, that's why the nurse gives you injections in your bum bum. Another route of administration is ophthalmic, something you put in your eyes directly to the eyes. And then, of course, we also have the route of administration, okay, called rectal, where we have to insert something through our rectum, our anus, suppositories. Fentanyl was manufactured as a transdermal and a nasal administrative drug. Nasal is another route, by the way. You can spray nose sprays directly to the nose, and it may not even be for the nose, it might be for something else. Fentanyl nasal spray also exists. But the most important thing about fentanyl was the transdermal route. And that's what I really want to briefly talk about today. The transdermal patch, we do not market patches in Nigeria as much as the Americans, the Canadians, and other parts of the world. I don't know why, but nitroglycerin.
Is Dr. Kemi also having issues with our network? Okay.
No, we can hear her loud and clear, sir. We can hear her.
Can you hear me? Mahmoud, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Just Oba said you should go ahead.
Transdermal is the route, the main route of this abusive drug. We do not use a lot of transdermal things in Nigeria. There are transdermal patches for heart problems. When somebody has a hard chest pain, they'll give them nitroglycerin tablets here in Nigeria. They put it under their tongue and it'll start to go. That's another route, sublingual, they call it. But there is also transdermal patches for nitroglycerin, which you stick on your body and it will deliver the drugs over 24 hours. The nicotine patches are also there, but Nigeria doesn't market patches. What fentanyl came originally as was a patch, where a pain patient will use the patch and it will deliver pain relief around the clock, 24 hours. The only 2 times I dispensed fentanyl in America was 2011, and that was the last time I practiced. The woman that I was giving it to had cancer in 5 different parts of her body, and that's very fatal. So she has to be in pain relief. So the patch will stick on her body and the medicine will be entering. We now discovered people that were actually getting fentanyl outside the pharmacy, which is what I call, how did the fentanyl patches walk out of the pharmacy? Fake prescriptions, all kinds of ways. A little 26-year-old girl will come and pick it up for the grandma who has cancer. 30 patches, grandma will get 25, and the 5 is missing, and she will be, too early to refill. We started seeing a pattern of addiction, abuse, and all that. If you cut a patch of fentanyl, the liquid inside, it looks like glue. That's the drug. If you leave it overnight, it'll turn into white powder in the morning. That white powder, we started seeing young people snorting it with a straw and getting extremely high. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. Heroin has no medical use in any society. But the metabolite of heroin, and I'm going to put this in layman's words so that you guys can understand. As much as I'm a journalist, as much as I'm a pharmacist, 34 years, I'm still a 28-year journalist. And in journalism school, we're taught to teach and talk for the 10th grade student. In other words, a 12-year-old must be able to understand what language we're using. So in 6th grade language, rather, I will say this, that fentanyl, is a very, very potent drug when it is inhaled in the nose. Literally, the person that inhaled it in the nose will die. Okay, these are not scare tactics. We have to be ready for this. This drug has been responsible for 77,000 deaths in America last year alone, 2021. When the crisis started in America, it was in 2017. I've been watching it. 2017, 29,000 people died. An entire community in Ohio, USA, has sued because everybody has disappeared. Imagine, I'm right now inside an Uber on my way to my house from the market. And inside this Uber, imagine the whole of Songotedo, like half of Songotedo, wipes out because of a drug that moves around clubs, offices, schools, workplace. This is what happened in this community in Ohio. These things are on Google. You can see it. Ohio, the state, they sued the drug companies, they sued the pharmaceutical companies, and they awarded them billions. But you can never bring back all those people that died all over the place. Jerome Adams was the former Surgeon General of the United States. You guys can go to Jerome Adams' Twitter. The Surgeon General of the United States is the #1 doctor. I watched what Jerome went through. I watched what Jerome Adams went through because he was in that end of Obama administration, enter Trump administration. The opioid crisis was serious. The drug that they use to counteract this overdose thing is called NALOXONE, Narcan. We had to put it in the hands of the addicts. Just like we put the needles on the hands of the heroin addicts so that they won't get HIV. We gave them clean needles. Now, Americans are running around with naloxone. Some critics said it's not good. It's encouraging their drug use even more. But that's what we have to do because of the overdose situation. We cannot handle it in Nigeria. If these people overdose on fentanyl, they cannot handle it in Nigerian emergency rooms, even private hospitals. They cannot. And if you have to give them naloxone will cost close to 100 or 200,000. We don't market naloxone in Nigeria. If we decide to start marketing it now, NAFDAC will have to do trials. They can't just put it in the market. They'll have to do expensive trials. So let us save money. Let us save time. Let us save lives by educating our children about fentanyl. Now, is it patches that are coming to Nigeria? No. It's the analogues that are coming to Nigeria. These people are wicked people. These drug barons, drug kingpins, and of course the dealers they will hire. I'm running into a problem in America right now because I was a volunteer for the Toronto Police Department, the 4th largest police department in North America, Canada. I was also a volunteer with the Baltimore Police. And I'm running into a problem now that police officers all over the United States are complaining of overdosing on fentanyl while they're arresting drug addicts. Some people are saying, okay, let's do a fact check. The absorption of some of these drugs are very high. Fentanyl is very, very absorbed. If you touch it, it can actually be absorbed. If it touches your skin, this is a drug that we put in a patch that we stick on the skin so that it can deliver 24-hour pain for someone who's suffering 5 cancers. Anyone suffering 5 cancers, if it's my family member, I just want them to have the best food, the best drinks, juices, and just not be in pain. They're terminal. And that's why they made it in the patch. And if police officers are complaining all over the place, and some experts are saying, no, it can't be, You need to wake up, people. Okay, 5 students died last week in one school alone. This is not a drug you pop and then, at the end of Molly and at the end of Tramadol, you have things like psychosis, no appetite, no sleep, nervousness, all these side effects when the drug runs out. So they have to take more. You get this at the end of Molly, ecstasy. You get this at the end of Tramadol and these other drugs. But with fentanyl, you get killed. You die of an overdose. So what I want to wrap up my presentation with now is what we have to get ready for. And I'm going to ask Chairman Marwa and Mr. Babafemi, you're listening. I want to visit the NDLEA command in Lagos, and I want to do a talk with the agents on what they need to know because of the exploding with the analogs. And that's even worse. What are fentanyl analogs? They're coming from Mexico and China. For Nigerian market, African market is China. We should be closing in on a real war, and everybody's part of this war. You go to your community when you finish on this space tonight and tell them what Kemi Olunloyo said. Now, the analogs, what are they? As a pharmacist, the other word for pharmacist is clinical drug scientist. That's what we are. We're taught how to make lotions. We're taught how to make creams. We're taught how to make tablets, syrups. I can make all that stuff in my house. Like I always tell my fans, what soap are you using? I make that soap myself in the house. Okay, I can't sell it without an FF number. Everybody wants the soap. But anyway, talking about making stuff. The Chinese are taking fentanyl powder. They're mixing it with pure heroin, oxycodone. They're also mixing it with OxyContin. And they're also mixing it with, they now mix it, they now put it in the tablet press. And they come up with a tablet. The tablet may be white, blue, green, any color. And there's drugs mixed with fentanyl, and this is what killed Mac Miller. Okay, you can Google it, Mac Miller, a very famous rapper in America. Mac Miller didn't have to die. His dealer was convicted. His drug kingpin was convicted, and they all went to prison. So the analogs, Mr. Babafemi, as I wrap up, is what I want to talk to your agents about and how to look for them. Because you can see a fentanyl analog and it will look like Molly. But the goal is to stop our kids from getting it. They will offer it to them and they say, hey, Biojo, here, this new drug you dagon, the area boys. Ele, try it, well, I like it. Biojo is going to die. So that's what I want to say. It's a warning. Thank you very much, NDLEA.
Thank you, Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. Please stay back because you are going to be taking quite a lot of questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me quickly, thank you. Let me